Kicking a serious drug addiction and staying sober is challenging without a strong support system. But what happens when the tough love from friends becomes a little too tough? Recovering addict Patrick says his friend and sober mentor Mark has fallen off the wagon several times since they met and isn't taking his own sobriety seriously enough. He wants Mark to shape up or he's out. Mark says Patrick's constant nagging is driving him crazy. Mark insists he's committed to his sobriety. He says Patrick needs to focus on his own recovery and get off his case. Patrick?
Yeah. Hello.
You're really concerned about Mark's sobriety. Tell us why.
Well, Mark and I have been friends for a few years. We're both in recovery from a very serious addiction.
Could I ask what that addiction was?
It was opiates, heroin.
Wow.
You know, I've worked really hard to get to where I am, and I'm not going to put myself in those situations of even...
How long have you been sober?
It'll be 3 years in December.
Yes.
All right. How about you, Mark? How long you been sober?
251 days.
So how was your longest sobriety in terms of the length of time?
2.5 years.
Okay, and you've relapsed 4 times in those 2.5 years?
Roughly, yeah.
So you're both involved in the 12-step program?
Correct.
Okay.
Mark, do you think Patrick is overreacting?
Absolutely. Okay, first off, I relapsed 4 times, right, on different, separate issues, you know?
Well, let's hear the justification.
Okay.
Because you know that's where you're going.
Right.
You got an excuse for it.
What it came down to is when I started to work the steps and look at who I was. Now, where Patrick said I was his mentor at one point, yes, I'm a narcissist, so maybe this one is a narcissistic comment. He is what he is right now because this is what I told him to be. Now, I spent 2.5 years. Hold on,
No,
give
he
me a
meant
second.
that. No.
Give me a second.
No, I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
Right, now I spent 2.5
You get what I'm
years.
saying?
I spent 2.5 years working that program.
Right.
Right? Where I was completely honest. I didn't smoke. I didn't, do anything. Then I got to the point in my life where I spent 29 years of my life living this way, and then I did a complete 180, and it was too much for me.
Okay.
You know, I'm in a meeting.
So you're saying complete honesty is too much for you?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the bottom line.
No,
I'm
I
wondering,
felt
Patrick,
fake.
Patrick, Mark isn't your child. Are you being a little, too overly
Absolutely
protective?
not. That's ridiculous. Because look, like I said, I understand that it might be too much. My biggest concern is for him to get, with the help of other people, maybe you can help him see my concerns. I'm not trying to change it. If you want to do that, all I'm saying is I'm gonna move away, dude.
Oh.
I'm not gonna be hanging around with you like that.
Is what you're
look,
seeing.
this is not just he's smoking some bud, or he might start doing this or that. You know, we're playing with a serious drug. Those little things can compile over time, and what I see, dude, is that you have some fears that you're reluctant to face. This could lead to something greater and a real issue, and you're not prepared for it. You could go back out, you could relapse, and you could die, and I'm not gonna be a part of that.
But Mark, do you hear your friends saying that you may lose him as a friend if you keep, skating the line?
Look, we lose friends. People die all the time.
And especially now, I mean, we have
especially off a
opioids.
relapse.
Right.
And it's a real
that's
deal.
just crisis. It's killing people.